Today, I answer the question, why did yours relentless postpone today's advanced badass millionaire lifestyle business training till next Tuesday? Why did I postpone this training for the first time in my coaching and consulting career? Get that trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. Michael McLean, noblebook.com, badassletter.com. Everything is just being loaded, as you can see here. It is camp weekend. Krista's parents have a camp up in Quebec, and once a year we go and spend an entire weekend off the grid. There's nothing. There's no electricity. They have a well. I love it. I love it. The fact that there's no real internet connection. And it was her grandfather's camp, hunting camp. And now the family just uses it in the spring and the fall to go up and get away from the so-called rat race. So Krista and Emery and myself are heading up this weekend for a couple of days and then back. But as you can see, the four-wheelers, we're into the ATVing. My daughter Emery, I bought her one. It's a 70 horsepower, 70 cc, and it has a governor on it, so it can only go so fast. But she started driving that last year when she was 8 up at the camp. There's about 100 acres of beautiful fields that she can drive that. And then we have that bigger one for back. I go around the lakes and the ponds, and it's just, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of nature. It's a lot of fresh air. I use it to go for long walks too on the weekend, that I'll be there for 2 days. They use a generator, so it's a lot of sitting by the campfire. It's a lot of washing dishes by hand. It's really great for the young kids, especially they have no concept of what it's like to not have every single thing at their fingertips. And it's great for us. Emery's not used to any technology. She's not used to screens or iPads, so she loves it. She goes up there and has a great couple days and spends most of her time driving that little four-wheeler ATV she has. So to answer the question, why did I postpone today's free advanced badass millionaire world training? It was a training that I had planned on the spur of the moment earlier this week, and it was called How to Create the ultimate badass millionaire lifestyle business. So it's a topic that I genuinely love. And I haven't, it's an all new training. I haven't talked about this since I think 2014. So it's been a long time. So it's an all new training that I'm moving to this Tuesday. So if you're one of these dumb bunnies who hasn't registered or wasn't registered for today's training, you can correct your mistake and sign up below. There's a link below for Tuesday's training. It'll be at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And there's also there's a link in the email here if you're on my email list. So there's 2 ways to sign up. There's 200 lines, 90-minute free training, no cost to attend next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, how to create the ultimate badass millionaire lifestyle business. If you don't have a lifestyle business, you don't have a business. If you're not making $100K a month, I don't really think you have a business. If you don't have cash flow monthly renewals. If you don't have membership built into your business, whatever business you're in, so that you have guaranteed monthly cash flow, those are the two words, cash flow, then you really don't have a business. What you have is a high-paying job at best. And if it's not fun and you're not free and you can't leave it and it doesn't serve you, and if you're not the franchise player, then you really don't have a business. Once again, you have a job, maybe a high-paying job, maybe not a high-paying job. But I'll untangle that for you. I'll untangle you from that mess on Tuesday. So sign up below. So the reason that I got up this morning and postponed the training is because my father called. My dad called us here on the landline this morning. I was up super early, a little after 5 o'clock this morning, because I've been shooting YouTube ads on the dock here, which is an experience in itself. So I had my entire morning blocked from 5 a.m. till 12 noon today, and I'd take a couple hour break, and then I'd be on the training later this afternoon. So I shot 10 3-minute YouTube ads, and it's the first time, even though I'm on YouTube here every day, it's the first time I've done commercial ads, paid traffic. And it's the next way we're going to scale this business, this badass brotherhood. Because if the ads attract the right type of elite-driven, top 1% man like yourself, businessman, father, husband, then I can scale it to the moon. I can put $1 in, I can get $2 out. I can put $10 in, I can get $20 out. I can put, $100,000 in, I can get $200,000 out. That's the thing about scale. The challenge is making the return on investment work. The ROI has to work. $1 in, $1 out. $1 in, $2 out. So I've been shooting. I shot 10 different ads out here this morning. That's why I'm dressed up in my relentless uniform. And it's an interesting thing because I don't use a teleprompter. I never use a teleprompter. I don't care if it's shooting these daily videos. I've shot 300 of these in a row plus. I never use notes and I never use a teleprompter. Whenever I write an idea down and then I use that like a card or something to remind me, it's never my best work. My best work when I walk and when I talk. When I walk and when I talk, those are my best videos. Same with my webinars. I use the PowerPoint, but that's it. When I give a speech in front of 500 people or 1,000 people or 2,000 people, I don't use a teleprompter ever. I don't use a script. I'm just not as authentic or transparent with a teleprompter. So the only thing I used a teleprompter here for today, because these are 3-minute long, are the bullets. In other words, the bullet points, if you buy, it's for my book, right? How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and Life. So these are the bullet point, the reasons to buy. So you have like 6 reasons to buy the book. That's in our copy, that's on my website, but now it's in my ads. Like, why should a man buy this particular book? And these are the bullets. So that's the only thing I use the teleprompter for. I can do the story, I can do the headline, I can close it. I can do all that stuff off the cuff. I've been doing it for 31 years. And I like to be authentic, and I like to be transparent, and I like to be off the cuff. So that's not an issue. But it's interesting. I'll share with you sometime. I'll share it in my newsletter, and I'll share it with my mastermind members, how to shoot your own YouTube ads. And I'll keep you up to date on how I do with these. Because it's an interesting experience because it's brand new for me. I've only been on the YouTube platform for 5 months. I got about 1,700 followers for my daily walk videos, but this is all new. So I became a serious student. Whenever I want to learn something, I dive in with both feet. I'm poor people always ask, how much would that cost for that training? How much does that book cost to learn about YouTube? How much does it cost to hire the best YouTube consultant on the earth? And that's how poor people think, and that's how poor people talk about everything. They ask the wrong question about everything. Poor people always ask the question, oh, how much would that cost? Or how much does that cost? Or and wealthy people, I call them champions. Champions ask the right questions. They ask, how can I learn about that? How can I learn more about that? And how much will I make with that? So that was my thinking when I started studying YouTube over the last, 6 months, is I look at it as an asset. I don't look at it like Facebook or Twitter or Snapface or any of this other shit. I look at YouTube as a classroom, like a college, where people go there to learn and they go there to get entertained. So I believe it's an asset that I can develop. This is an asset, this channel. The 1,700 men that follow me, that's an asset. And it sells books, it sells newsletters, it sells mastermind memberships. But the ads themselves, which I'll have to pay for, I'm able to target exactly who I want. The income, male, female, political viewpoint, what have they bought in the past? Do they like sports? They like college football? So I can literally pick my avatar client, and I know exactly who that is, over the age of 45, married with kids, grandkids, already successful. Like my guys like you're alpha males. You're already doing well. The problem with you, like me, is you're never doing well enough. So there might be one or two areas in your life that you want to do even better, and that's where a guy like me comes in. I help you have it all. I help you get it all, whether it's marketing, marriage, time management, whether it's a better relationship with your children, whether you want a marriage that's on fire, whether you want to get in the best physical or mental health. That's where I come in. Maybe you just want to build massive legacy so that people remember you long after you're gone. If you don't build a legacy, you're forgotten. I work with those guys, and that's who I will target. So it's really been interesting, and I will share it with my newsletter subscribers and my mastermind members, because this has been awesome, and it's been a ton of work. Like, I worked on the scripts for the last 4 days. So for a 3-minute ad, I worked 4 days, and I'm an experienced copywriter. I'm an experienced salesman. I'm an experienced closer and rainmaker. And it was four days that I worked on that uninterrupted. I put in 6 hours, 5 hours. I used my writing time. I used my magic time. I used it for my deep work. So really, really important. But this is what'll scale. This is the kind of thing you want to spend your writing time doing, is you want to spend Operation Money Suck on things that'll eventually scale for you. The hell do you want to spend time, writing, but it doesn't bring you money? Spend your time doing things that'll bring you money. So I've spent the last 4 days perfecting the copy for these YouTube ads. And by the way, in my journal, I've been writing down ideas for these ads. I've been writing down the actual ideas, headlines that come to me, stories. How would I sell this? What would I say about the book? Who's the book for? All this kind of stuff. And I've been doing that for a year in my journal. So I got out my journal over the last 4 days, and I had all these ideas that I'd written down on recipe cards, on those index cards. And I had all kinds of things written way back when we were in Naples. I wrote, that would make a good YouTube ad, or that would make a good headline. And now I'm putting those to the test. And data will rule the day, right? Not drama. Data will rule the day. These either work or they don't. Then we perfect them and shoot more. So that's what I was up to this morning. The reason I postponed the training is because my dad called. My dad is 89 years old. He was an entrepreneur until he was 85, which puts him at 70 years in the glorious trenches. I had the privilege of working with my dad in the insurance business for 17 incredible years. My dad has been my hockey coach. He's been my baseball coach. He's been my entrepreneurial and business mentor. And, he's 89 years old. He's in fantastic health. He does his road work every day. He doesn't walk on Saturdays or Sundays. He takes the weekend off. And he lives independently with my mom about 15 minutes outside of town. They drive into the city. You know, we're very blessed to have them and in the health that they're in. But when my dad calls or my mom calls, I stop everything. And this wasn't an emergency or anything like that. It was my dad picked, I had the afternoon, I had the morning, I was going to do these YouTube ads, which I've done. And then this afternoon, I was like, okay, I got my advanced training, which I'm ready for, my webinar. And then my dad called this morning at 7 o'clock and he said, son, he goes, would you like to go skating today, this afternoon, at the arena? There's adult skating. He looked it up in the newspaper and he said, there's adult skating today. He said between 12 and 2. There's adult skating at the arena between 12 and 2. And I'd mentioned this before. My dad skates at last year. He actually skates every Tuesday with my daughter's school. Like I do the power skating every Tuesday at 4. My dad comes out and skates. He was 88 last year, but he has not been out this year. And I'm not sure, right? He's like 89. I'm like, Dad, you know, the kids are out there. Some of them can't skate. You could get knocked over. So I'm pretty cautious, right, about protecting my father. So he hasn't been out this year. And he sometimes comes out on Sundays, not very often. But he went out a couple of times with my Blue Wings Junior program on Sunday. But for the most part, he skates on Tuesdays. So I said, Dad, you know, let's go out for an adult skate, just you and me on the ice ourselves and see how you feel. And then if you feel great, well, you can join us at the school skating. So he called me up this morning. He said, son, you want to go for a skate today at between noon and 2? And soon as I heard that, I said, I'll be there. I'll be there. And I didn't think about it. I didn't talk to Krista. I didn't talk to Marc Andre. I didn't think about, you know, the webinar or anything. I made the decision. My life is ruled by values. My life is ruled by values. I don't make decisions by the news. I don't make decisions because of politics. I don't make decisions because of friends or associates. I don't make decisions because of peer pressure. I don't make decisions because the crowd is going that way or the herd is going that way. I make decisions based on one thing. My 4 key values, my personal values. Values rule my life, okay? I have rituals, I have routines, I have rules, I have all that. But at the end of the day, and this is important, my values rule my decisions. And this is a great teaching point because I didn't even have to think about it. My 89-year-old father calls me up. He asked me if I want to go skating. There's no other day. I'd have to wait an entire week. He asked me, would I like to go skating? Absolutely. I'll be there today, Dad, at 12. I'll meet you there at 11:45. And that's exactly what happened. So years ago, I would have said, well, Dad, you know, I got a webinar on and, I'll get back to you or I'll let you know in an hour. And I might talk to Krista and say, you know, I'd really like to go skating, but, you know, it's a pain in the ass and I got the webinar and I'm busy and all this kind of stuff. And now that I'm ruled by my values, I'm not ruled by outside emotions. I'm not ruled by my heart. I'm just ruled by what's important to me first and foremost. So my world builders, we do this in my masterminds and we do this, I'm going to do this with my newsletter guys, but your top 4 values rule your life. You can say you have 11 values, 13 values, but your top 4 will always rule your life. If you value health, if you really value health, well, it'll show, right? You'll be mentally and physically fit your entire life. You'll eat the right foods. You'll drink tons of water. You won't abuse alcohol and drugs. Like you'll show that health is your number 1 wealth value. It'll show in your behavior, not what you say. It's the same for knowledge. Like I can tell if a person values knowledge and mental health by how much they read, how much they study, how many physical books they read, what podcasts they listen to. Do they commit to growing every single day? Are they into personal development? And this is the kind of thing like business, like, you know, or family is a value or whatever it is. You can just tell by a person's behavior. So I've amended some of my behavior in the last 19 years, but over the last couple of years, family, I'm a fierce family guy. Like, I'm a fierce family guy, right? Nobody comes before my queen. Nobody comes before my daughter, Emery. And nobody comes before my mom and my dad and Chris's dad. Nobody. So I'm a fierce family man. So what would a fierce family man say in that situation? When his father calls him up, he doesn't do it. My dad doesn't call up very often. That's not his style. And he calls me up and he says, "Son, would you like to go for a skate?" And you know what? And I say yes. You know what? A webinar can always wait. I'll probably do a better job on Tuesday. I'll have more content on Tuesday. You guys will still be there on Tuesday. But it shows that my value isn't money. I'm not chasing money. One of my biggest values is family. And also one of my other top 4 is autonomy, personal sovereignty. That's another value of mine. My top 4 is autonomy. So autonomy means I'll get to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, at the price I want, on the terms I want. Autonomy and personal sovereignty means you live life and do business on your own terms. So if I wasn't living autonomy and personal sovereignty as a value, I would have twisted myself into a pretzel, saying to my dad, "Well, I'll get back to you today. I can't, but maybe I can do it now. See you on the weekend." And you know what? We wouldn't have skated together. We wouldn't have had that 2 hours as father and son today. We wouldn't have had lunch. We wouldn't have had skating. We wouldn't have had any of it. And, it reminds me of the 3 letters that govern my world. QTL. QTL. Quality time left. So the average North American male now lives an average of 77.5 years. So let's round up, 78 years. So on average, and there's nothing guaranteed, it can be less, it can be more, but on average, the typical male in North America lives to 78 years old or less. So my dad's 89, my mom's 89. So how many more days do I get to go and skate with my dad, see my mom, have lunch? How many more times is the phone going to ring in the lake house, the landline, and my dad's going to say, "Hey, would you like to come for a skate?" How many more times is that going to happen? Well, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. It could happen a whole bunch more times, but the reality is that I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm a fierce family man. So as a fierce family man, it's an easy decision for me. When you know your top 4 values, like my 2 values, 2 of the top 4 are autonomy and family. So do you see how that decision was made quickly? It's like, this is my dad, who's one of the most important people in my world. He asked me to do something, and I'm a free man. I can do what I want when I want. I'm in a safe financial position. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And I have a great group of followers who understand if it's not Thursday, Michael, it's Tuesday. If it's not Tuesday, I'll watch the recording. But I walk my own talk. And admittedly, a few years ago, I would have crammed it all in today, and I wouldn't have skated with my dad, and I would have done the web training, and I would have done the YouTube ads. And then I would have sat in there at night, and I would have said tonight after supper or dinner, and I would have been upset, and Krista would have said, what's your problem? And the problem would have been that I didn't live my values. I would have been pissed at myself. There's only one person to be mad at. It would have been pissed at myself for not doing the right thing. So when you know your 4 values, whatever they are, it takes some thinking, it takes some journaling, then you live your life by that. On my big cork board, my vision board, in the 4 corners, I have the values. So in the top 2 corners, I have family and I have autonomy. And I just lived those 2 values today. That's the reason that I postponed the webinar advanced training today. Nothing else. In 9 years of coaching and consulting, I've never, ever, ever, I've never missed a webinar. I've never missed a podcast. I've never missed a teleseminar. I've never missed a mastermind. I've never missed a newsletter deadline. I've never missed a book deadline. I have never, ever missed a seminar. But are you kidding me? to go skating with my dad, my pop, on a Thursday afternoon and have lunch with my mom and him. That's number one in my book. That's number one in my book. That's something I'm going to look back on and say, you know what? I'm glad that I know my values. I'm glad that I'm a fierce family man. I am proud that I live a life of personal sovereignty and I know my values. So my question for you is, what are your top 4 values? And are they really your top 4 values? If I followed you around for a week, I could easily, after a day, I could say, okay, here's your top 4 values by your behavior. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Okay, do you really value your health? Yes or no? Do you really value your spirituality? Yes or no? Do you really value your marriage? Yes or no? Do you really value your relationship with your children and grandchildren? Yes or no? Do you really value your freedom? Do you really value your independence and your autonomy? Do you really value, it just goes on and on and on. Contribution, making an impact. Do you value? Because if you don't behave right, those aren't really your values. And I teach my guys how to change their values. I teach my guys in my book. I teach them in my newsletter. I teach them in my mastermind how to actually change their values so they better serve them. So that health, if they want health to be a number one priority, a number one value, I show them how to do that. Because, you'll never be fit. You'll never eat the right foods. You'll never be mentally well. You'll never be physically fit unless you have health as a value. You can do it for a short period of time, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. You'll never walk. You'll never drink water for a long time. You'll never sustain it if it's not a true value. It's the same with, you can't write for an hour. It's because your value is not contribution. Why do you think I've done walk and talk these videos for 305 times in a row? Do you think I like walking in the fucking snow? Do you think I like walking in the rain? Do you think I like walking in the extreme heat? Do you think I like, getting out here with a cough and a cold and whatever? And what, and I gotta send an email every single day. I gotta do this every day. I gotta do it on Christmas Day. I gotta do it on Thanksgiving Day. I gotta do it on Easter Sunday. I gotta shoot these videos, but they get done every single day. One of my values is contribution. One of my 4 values is contribution. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve 1 million businessmen. I talk about it, but I also follow it up because it's a value. One of my values, besides autonomy and family, is contribution. If I'm not giving, I'm not happy. If I'm not making a difference, I'm not happy. If I'm not coaching hockey, I'm not happy. If I'm not coaching you, I'm not happy. If I'm not shooting videos, I'm not happy. If I'm not writing newsletters, I'm not happy. If I'm not organizing masterminds, I'm not happy. If I'm not giving money to charities, I'm not happy. If I'm not supporting our military, I'm not happy. I live that value. So when you look in your life and you see things that aren't working, Michael, it's not working. It's because it's not a value. Maybe you value the freedom to drink alcohol or to sedate or to escape instead of the value of health. Like, they're all ranked, right? 1 to 30, 1 to 20. And then you're an open book because of those. I can tell. A person who's got a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset, it's all about your values. So one of my other values is contribution. So I just wanted to talk about that, QTL, quality time left. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I could be gone this afternoon. My dad's 89, my mom's 89. When they call, I pick up. And I just wanted to share with you, there's more than business. There's more than money. There's more than the next YouTube ad. There's more than all that stuff. Be a fierce family man. Be a fierce husband. Be a fierce father. Be a fierce grandfather. Be a fucking lion. Be a lion. This world needs more fucking badass lions. That's what they need. This world needs more men that pick up the phone and say, I'll see you there. I'll see you there. This other stuff can wait. I'll do it. I'm obligated. I keep my commitments. But this is more important. Coaching kids is more important. Prayer is more important. Going to church is more important. Reading is more important. Helping other people is more important. Serving other people is more important. Being nice and compassionate and understanding is more important. Holding a door is more important. I don't give a shit how much money you have or how much you make. Doesn't make any difference to me. Money to me is one thing. Personal sovereignty. That's it. I don't care. Money to me is just personal sovereignty. But it's not more important than skating with my old man. It's not more important than shooting these videos. It's not more important than date night. It's not more important than my walk. Know your values. What are your top 4 values? And make sure they're values that support you. Your behavior will say what your values are. You're struggling in any area of your life. You're struggling in any area of your life consistently to make moves, inward moves. It's because you don't value it. Change those values, write them down, post them, and your behavior will gradually change. That's it. That's all. If you haven't registered, like I said earlier, I'm gonna do the training on Tuesday. It'll be even better. How to create the ultimate badass millionaire lifestyle business. Few lines left below. Sign up, and I will see you on Tuesday. I have some great family stories coming up for you. I have one about my dad. I have one about my oh boy. Just check out the videos over the next 3 or 4 days. They're all the best of the best walking and talking stories. That's it. We live in the greatest time in history. Greatest time to be alive. Wealth, opportunity, and abundance. No excuses whatsoever. And by the way, the best is yet to come. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that'll change your life. Be relentless.